kicks it. It goes back to about the 30-yard line where the Baconton Blazers catch it at the 25 and run straight up the near side hash marks to the 35. And apparently there is a I can't tell if there's a fumble or not. No, absolutely not.
I believe that was Brock Pinson on the return. One of the questions that I have about this Baconton squad, Clark, is who is going to step up and be the man, so to speak, to replace James Davis. They lost a lot when he graduated. They should have tried to fiddle with his grades or something, see if they couldn't keep him an extra year.
1st and 10 now for the Blazers as they come up to the line. The ball is on the 34-yard line, just underway from Centennial Field. And we have Brock Pinson in at quarterback underneath center. 2 receivers on the far side. We'll get a pass, quick little pass out to the side, and it is incomplete. In and out of the hands, intended for number 21, McCary McDuffie.
Yeah, and then that was dangerous, Clark, because it was almost close to a lateral, and it bounced right out of his hands behind him, and he lost track of where that football went. Of course, quickly the official blew the whistle indicating it was an incomplete pass, but had it been a lateral, Pelham might have scooped that thing up. They were in a position to scoop it up and score.
2nd down and 10 now for the Blazers as they come back up to the line of scrimmage. Pinson again underneath center. Receivers on both sides of the ball this time. 2 men in the back. Going to give it to the fullback, who's going to be hit immediately in the backfield and going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage, down about the 29-yard line.
Let me tell you, Hiram Jackson is the fullback. If that isn't a fullback name to me, Hiram Jackson, if I'd heard that name and they asked me his position, fullback or defensive tackle would have been my first two guesses just on that name alone. Maybe I'm stereotyping there, but that just sounds like a good fullback name to me, Clark.
3rd and long now for the Blazers. Ball's on about the 30-yard line as they break the huddle. Hornet defense here, out for the first time, as well as the Baconton offense. Pinson underneath center with the count. Going to give it to a back there who's going to drive it up. Going to get back near the original line of scrimmage. Going to bring up 4th down.
Let's see, that was Quentin Smith. He's a 10th grader. They are a young team. That's going to be a problem. They operate out of that I formation. If you can move the ball, that's a great formation to run out of, but now they're going to have to be picking up some forward yardage and not get in long situations because they're not going to be able to pick up 3rd and long during the football season.
Blazers set up here to punt, and it's number 22 punting. Good punt across midfield. It takes a Pelham hop, and Baconton falls on it on the 45-yard line. And I was trying to see, that was Zach Jones with the kick there.
I don't know exactly how it got into the hands of Zach Jones. It took an odd bounce back into a crowd there. And I tell you what, both of those teams are lucky it didn't bounce off one of their players, and something odd happened here in the early going. But Pelham takes over, and we're going to get to see the Pelham wing T formation. Actually, they're going with double wings this time to start out with out in their formation, Clark.
Pelham quarterback underneath center. They're going to have a man in motion to the near side this time. Going to give it to a back straight up the middle. He gets 5-6 yards before he's tripped up.
Pelham, I got a chance to see their scrimmage. They've been lining up primarily in a wing T, that time double wings, but they sent one of the wings in motion, so he came back up and set in that traditional formation in the backfield behind the quarterback. So before they snapped the ball, they did shift into the wing T formation.
Cody Goblin, quarterback for the Hornets, underneath center this time. 2nd and 5 for the Hornets. The count, the snap. Going to give it to a back. There's a penalty flag. Back is hit on the 45-yard line. We have 2 flags laying on the field now.
One of these in the backfield, I can't see why it is not a illegal procedure, because the fullback fell to his knees after being set, but it was really, really long time after he made that motion. They waited to the snap to throw the flag, and then I don't know what the flag on the side is.
It's going to be a holding call against the Hornets, so that'll back it up.
So they got a procedure and holding. Holding will be the biggest one, so I'm sure that's the one they'll take. And it is what they're going to take because they're marking it from the point of infraction.
And that's going to back it up to the 35, 6, 7, 8-yard line. The 2nd down. And long way for the Hornets here.
early mistakes like this will play well for Baconton. They do best when they jump on you early.
Godwin underneath center for the Hornets. 2nd and 17 now. And they give it to a back. He is touched immediately and really gets nowhere, maybe a yard on the play.
Yeah, Blazers defense did an excellent job that time. So with the help of the holding penalty, they have put the Hornets in a third and about 17, third and long. And I would say that the Hornets would probably have to come out passing here. So we'll get to see an early look at the Hornet passing game if all goes the way it should.
All right, in this 3rd and long situation, let's call it 3rd and 16 now for the Hornets. Godwin underneath center this time. Man in motion coming back to the near side. Going to pitch it to the man in motion who comes around this side. Got a penalty flag. He gets across the 50, and he's tripped up. And they're going to put him down at the 46-yard line, but we do have a penalty flag back on about the 38.
That's going to be a hold against the Hornets, Clark, and it's going to be marked from back in the backfield, actually. So, well, not really the backfield because they were, but, well, it's going to be a little bit in the backfield, so that's a big penalty against the Hornets. They were very close but short of a first down, so I don't know whether you decline it. They could go for it and pick it up because it'd be 4th and inches. I think you got to take it.
All right, that is going to be the call there. It is a hold, and they're going to mark it off from there, so they back them up again.
If it being at midfield and just inches, you could see a new coach. You wouldn't bet whether he'd go for it or not. But had it been 4th and about 5, 6, or 7, I would bet they would punt for it, and Baconton would have been wise to decline that penalty. But they had to take it.
Jerry White, 3rd down now, and about 27 for the Hornets as they come up to the line. Again, in at quarterback for the Hornets, Cody Godwin, a senior. Underneath center this time. And kind of a mix-up there. They do hand it off. They run it up the middle and going to be brought down at about the 36 or 37-yard line, maybe 38.
Looked like to me that, of course, obviously it was handed off straight up the middle there, but it looked like to me what I used to call a trap. I forgot what they call it now. They have more fancy names than they used to have in the old days. I guess it's because players are smarter than they used to be. But anyway, they executed it about the best you can, but they really need a lot of yardage, Clark, to pick up a first down, so they're going to be way short.
4th down and 17 now for the Hornets. 7:44 with the clock running here in the first quarter. No score. Baconton Blazers versus the Pelham Hornets. And Pelham takes a timeout. We'll also take a timeout. You're listening to the Civil War, North versus South, of the official voice of high school football in Mitchell County, Q92.3.
A lot of yardage here early in the game to be going for it.
4th and 17 is what the Hornets face right now. And we have 7:39 on the clock. No score here at Centennial Field. First game of the year. High school football, people still trying to get in here. And the count and the snap. This time, Pelham punts it. Gets a decent punt off. It hits the ground at the 30, the 25, takes a Pelham bounce all the way down to about the 22-yard line is where the Blazers will take over with 1st and 10.
Well, obviously, Baconton's defense was helped greatly by 2 holding penalties, but quite impressed with the fact that they have shown to the Pelham Hornets, a team that beat them on the field 50-14 last year, that they come out to hold up their part in the northern end of the Civil War here. It's a brand new rivalry game here in Mitchell County, the 2nd renewal of it, and you're here witnessing the history of what people will be talking about for 50 years from now.
Absolutely. Also appreciate the folks listening in, not only on the radio but on the World Wide Web. I know we had a lot of people logged in as this thing was getting kicked off here tonight.
And that's growing by leaps and bounds every year, and I thank you and my brother Frank for getting that thing up and running each and every year.
And we have a timeout called by Baconton with 7:26 left to play in the first quarter. 0-0 your score. We'll also take a timeout on the official voice of high school football in Mitchell County, Q92.3.
Score 7:26 left to go in the first quarter of our football game. Baconton with the football for the 2nd time tonight. Clark, they didn't have a whole lot of luck running it. It looks like here in the early going we're really in for a defensive battle. Again, I say, though, Baconton has their best luck if they stay on top of you early and get a chance to get the jump on you.
Make it from their own 22-yard line. Brock Pinson underneath center this time, 1st and 10. I formation. Going to give it to the back who's going to run straight up the middle. He's got open running room across the 30 up to about the 31.
Yeah, that was definitely a good carry to start off with, and I didn't quite catch the number there. I'm glad to see the sun has gone behind the clouds. It's not gone down yet, but we got a break, and this is really turning out to be a pretty good night for football.
Absolutely. Great carry there by the Baconton Blazers. Gain of about 9 yards brings up 2nd and 1 for the Blazers. I formation again. Receivers on both sides of the ball. 6:52 on the clock. 0-0 your score. 2nd and 1 now. Going to give it to a back. He's hit immediately and taken down with no gain.
Number 24, that was Quentin Smith, a 10th grader. And they got some other stats on him. Let's give you it looked like he was a little short, 5'6", 192 pounds, and so he must have a lot of fire in him because they've stuck him in the fullback position that is traditionally Clark meant for a guy with much more heft than he has, but they've got him in the fullback position, and he went right into that line. Didn't look like he was scared of anybody.
Going to give him a loss there of about a yard. 3rd and 8 now for the Blazers. Receivers on both sides. I formation. Going to give it to a back who is hit as he tries to go around the far side right at the line of scrimmage.
Here in the early going, it looks like I think that was that wasn't Brock Pinson. I read the name wrong, so I'm not really sure what it was. It was a number. I thought it was number 10, so it was a teen number. But I didn't catch the name of it. I'm sorry.
All right, Baconton back for the 2nd time again tonight in a punting situation deep in their own territory. Ball's on the 26-yard line or so. 4th and long now. Back to punt for the Blazers, and he misses it. It goes through his hands, picks it up. He's going to try, and now he is taken down on the 5-yard line. So Hornets wind up in great field position there.
Yeah, it just went through his hands. Zach Jones, the punter, and he had nothing to do by the time he got back there but just to protect the football. And the Pelham Hornets have come up with it, and they are inside the 10. Looks like it's on about the 7, Clark. 1st and goal from the 7 for the Pelham Hornets. Let's see what the Baconton defense can do here with their backs against the wall.
All right, we got the referee signaling a water break for these guys, so I guess we'll take one as well. You're listening to high school football on the official voice of high school football in Mitchell County with no score from Centennial Field, 5:17 left to play. You're listening to it on Q 92.3.
Pelham operating out of the wing T, and they will hand it off to look like number 15, and he gets it in for the touchdown. It's a very, very short field that the Baconton special teams had set the Hornets up with. So not very much yardage at all, about 6 yards that they had to go for the touchdown. And the Pelham Hornets are on the board with 5:11 left to go in the first quarter of action here in the second renewal of the Civil War between North versus South, Baconton and Pelham.
And now they set up for the point after attempt. And the kick is up, and it is good. It is good, so that'll put another point on the board. So your score from Centennial Field, Pelham High School 7, Baconton Blazers nothing with 5:11 left to play in the first quarter. Timeout on the official voice of high school football in Mitchell County, Q 92.3.
Seen anything like this at Centennial Stadium in quite a while.
It's unreal, and the reason I keep running out taking a look, the wind's blowing out there, not in here. So
okay, I thought you were being the on top of it journalist, and it's a lot cooler out there.
Absolutely.
Well, we got long mic cords, man.
Pelham is
we ought to move out there.
Getting the ball teed up now on the 40-yard line, getting ready to punt to the Blazers. 7-0 is the score, 5:11. First quarter, Centennial Field. Back to kick for the Hornets. Number 25, Eric Aviles. Good kick this time, over to about the 20. Blazers pick it up at the 21. Come to the near side, bring it up across the 25, take it down at the 26 or 7, depending on the spot here.
Didn't see much about the play, but I do know that you're right. It is cool out there.
Absolutely.
Baconton's going to have a little bit more room to work with this time, maybe. So, but I tell you what, they were holding their own. They just cannot afford to make the mistakes on special teams like they just did on that punt that put the points on the board for the Pelham Hornets, because the Pelham Hornets were unable, even though the penalties helped out some, to move the ball on Baconton. And when you just got to go 6 yards, it's kind of hard for your defense to hold a team back.
High formation with double receivers on the far side, and going to be a mix up there in the handoff. Ball's on the ground. Let's see who comes up with it.
Baconton recovered it, but it's a loss on the play, something they can ill afford, because out of that I formation, it's like a 3-yard and a cloud of dust type offense when most teams run it, and you can't start off looking at 2nd and 14 and expect to pick up, they're just not a team that's going to pick up that kind of yardage in 2 downs.
Blazers break the huddle, come back up to the line now on a fumble there. 2nd and 14. I formation, receivers on both sides this time. Pinson underneath center with the count. And going to fake it to the back. Pinson's hanging on to it, rolling around the right side. He's got room. He runs out of bounds at the original line of scrimmage.
Well, they tried that play earlier, and I was going to say, and I don't think I ever made the comment, one thing I did notice about the Pelham defense, it looks like they had a lot of speed laterally. Now, when they get into some real competition against teams like Seminole County, and I hope Baconton fans won't take that wrong, but I mean, Pelham's got to go through the meat of the schedule since they are playing a region schedule, Seminole County and Miller. They're going to need that lateral speed to shut those two teams down, because both those teams like to run it outside. They have in the past, and they always seem to come up with the fast athletes able to do it. But that time, Pinson was able to pick up some yardage outside, and that certainly looked good. It wasn't enough yardage, though.
3rd and 8 now for the Blazers as they're in an I formation, 2 receivers on the near side. Pass out to this side, and it is incomplete. Hits the ground, but the receiver caught the ball, but it did hit the ground. Jacob Pollock, and he's number 17. He's that other number wearing a team number. The quarterback is 10, and Pollock is 17, and I couldn't find that number a while ago when I was looking for it. He ran the ball on a sweep earlier in the game, and I couldn't call the number. But they've tried that pass now twice, and it's just not. First, they're not getting it executed quick enough, and second thing, he didn't deliver the ball to him, and Pollock had to go digging it out of the grass, and that's not going to work. 3rd time for the Blazers tonight from a punt situation, and the ball goes straight up, not very far, maybe 15 yards or so, and takes a Blazer bounce up to the 45-yard line where the Hornets down it.
There is a late flag coming in there, so I'm almost got to believe that we might have an unsportsmanlike conduct situation here with the lateness of that flag. We'll hold it right here for a second.
The officials are huddled up talking about this.
Well, I tell you what, let's take a quick 30-second timeout. I don't know. As soon as we take it, let's keep it right here, Clark. It does look like Baconton started out really holding their own, but they have things just seems to be going against them right now. Yeah, a personal foul was the call. The lateness of that flag was what made me think that it was going to be something on that order, and it is a personal foul against the Blazers. So Pelham, the bad side for Blazer fans, Pelham going to be starting off again with a very, very short field. Grant you not 1st and goal from the 6, but it's going to be a short field nonetheless. This begins to wear on you, Clark, also psychologically. When you're a young program trying to start things, this is the kind of stuff, and we've seen all of our local teams. We've seen Pelham during the streak go through this. You'd get a little thing happen. You'd have these moments where you could pick up a big gain or something like that, and the next thing you know, you shoot yourself in the foot. I know Westwood in the 90s went through a streak of this, when was it going to happen and when was it going to fall apart, and Baconton right now is going through that in the 2nd year of a varsity program. It's just a tough thing to do, to build a football program, and sometimes you have a step forward and 2 steps back.
Pelham winds up in great field position, 1st and 10 now from the Baconton 25-yard line. 3:05 left to play in the first quarter Pelham in the lead here, 7-0. Quarterback Godwin underneath center. One receiver going to give it to a back who's going to take it straight up and going to get maybe a yard or two.
Well, I tell you what, this defense has looked good for Baconton. This may be enough yardage for them to defend. You know, it was kind of asking a lot when you step down there inside the 10 with your back up against, you're scratching your back on the goal line there. But this may be enough room. On that previous drive, they did have to have some help from penalties, but they've made some good stops here early in this contest, Clark.
Denzel Jackson on a 2-yard carry there brings up 2nd and 8 for the Hornets. One receiver on the far side. And going to give it to a back behind the quarterback who's going to drive it forward another 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, and that's McDuffie, isn't it? McDuffie, and McDuffie's a junior, so they got some guys that are stepping up here. They're 10th graders and 11th graders, so the future's looking good for Baconton. And he looked good running the ball. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on it, but looked good doing it.
Going to call it 3rd and long 3 here.
And this is definitely gettable for that. They got the back side by side in the backfield, kind of a pro set.
And going to give it to a back who's going to run to the near side, and he is just wrapped up by the Blazers.
Kind of went to that well a second time. Evidently, the coaches thought he looked good running that ball. They said they'd ease it to McDuffie again, and the Pelham Hornets kind of looked like that. But you're down here, or excuse me, I got it reversed there. The Pelham Hornets running the football there, looking at a fourth and 5?
4th and 5 now. That was a great defensive play by the Blazers as they all attacked the runner there and able to bring him back for a loss of about 2 yards. So 4th and 5 now for the Hornets from the 20-yard line or so. Quarterback's going to roll to the far side. The Blazers get a hand on him, and the pass, he makes a pass, and it is incomplete, hits the ground. So, man, the Blazer defense there.
So, and obviously the Baconton crowd seems very excited about that. And, of course, the previous player that I misidentified was Desmond Parker that ran the ball a couple of times for the Pelham Hornets. And so I'm sorry I misidentified him there. But Baconton with the football now.
Absolutely. From the 20-yard line, they're on 21st and 10 now for the Baconton Blazers. 51 seconds on the clock. 7-0 is the score. We're in the first quarter. Centennial Field here.
You know, there's nothing worse, though, than saying, what if, and early in this game, what if they could have gotten that punt away and not given it football up on the 6-yard line? Because the Baconton defense really looked good, and Pelham's not been able to put any yards on them so far tonight.
I formation from 1st and 10. Pinson in at quarterback, 2 receivers on the near side. Going to give it to the fullback, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage and probably taken back for a loss there.
That was McDuffie carrying the ball, and he didn't look quite as good as his Pelham counterpart, Desmond Parker. Both of them carry number 21, but Parker looked like he was running the ball better.
Wound up with about a 3-yard loss there, so second about 13 now for the Blazers. 21 seconds, first quarter. Clock is running.
Well, I can see early that's just going to be a problem. Baconton's just not able to move the football, but by the same token, it's looking like Pelham's not able to move it quite well either. So our first quarter is in the books. Pelham, by virtue of that 6-yard run after Baconton put it on the ground on the punt, has taken the lead in the Civil War. So in this Civil War, so far, the South is winning against the North. 7-0, the end of the first quarter score. Back in a moment on the official voice of high school football in Mitchell County, Q92.3.
Not lined up right here. Okay, all right, there we go. Okay,
that happens. It's their first game too.
Yep. Okay, second and going to call it 2nd and 14 for the Blazers, as we've changed ends of the field now as the second quarter is about to begin.
Clark, you're about the only one out of this organization that's on the ball tonight. I have to say that. You came ready to go. You were multitasking when you walked in the gate.
From the I formation this time, receivers on both sides of the ball, and it's fumbled at the line of scrimmage. Pelham saying they've got it, and we're going to see what the official says.
Pelham says it, but the official says Baconton recovered.
Well, that's who counts.
Yeah. Sorry, Hornets, you were outvoted.
Third loss of a yard there with that fumble, so 3rd and 15 now for the Hornets.
And they've gotten
for the Blazers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I always have that problem. I tell you what, I'm going to have a problem also is Westover. When Mitchell County plays Westover, and I believe that will be next Friday night, I will call Westover Westwood all night long. And I just I apologize. I usually start off apologizing. And whenever Mitchell County plays Pelham or Baconton plays Pelham, I'm just going to have that problem. I mean, they look like polar opposites of each other in their uniforms.
From 3rd and 15, here come the Blazers this time looking to pass. And it is in and out of the hands of a Baconton receiver, number 82 for the Baconton Blazers. That is Pro West that drops the ball. So 4th and 15 now for the Blazers.
Dropped it, and he's a pro. I never get tired. Should I be painfully honest or in my commentary? All I was going to say, and it's not really that painful, is that was great that they went to a passing situation, but they weren't even in front of the first sticks. If you're going to pass, you got to get it downfield because, if he had caught that ball, he had 11 more yards of running he had to pick up for a first down.
Jerry, it's 4th down, 4th and 15 for the Baconton Blazers now, and back in a punting situation from the goal line. High snap and pretty good punt this time by the Blazers. It's fielded at the 44-yard line of the Blazers, and Pelham has finally run out of bounds at the 30-yard line. About a 15-yard return there.
Now, I don't know if it was a factor of the short punt, but that was outstanding punt coverage by the Baconton Blazers there. If they could have got that punt deeper and got that kind of coverage on them, their special teams would be jam up with most of the teams we're going to see this year.
All right, 1st and 10 now for the Pelham Hornets as they come up to the ball on the 30-yard line of the Blazers. Ball's on the 30 as the Hornets come up. 10:46 left to play in the first half of tonight's contest. 7-0 is your score with the Hornets in the lead. Godwin underneath center for the Hornets this time. 2 men in the backfield. Going to give it to a back who's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage by the Blazers. Driven down in the ground.
Wow, that has to be the defensive play of the night. They're going to give him his forward progress, so he will get a half a yard, Clark, on the play. But in all reality, they drove him back, and you could have easily seen where that was. That could have been call for a loss on the play. That was excellent defensive play by a whole host of Blazers up front on that defensive line.
2nd and 9 now for the Hornets. 10-11 with the clock running. Centennial Field, 7-0 the score. Second quarter. Going to give it to a back this time, and he's going to take it around the far side. He's tripped up at the 25-yard line.
Brandon Bostic, a senior for the Pelham Hornets. He also, the Baconton Blazer defender went down low, and he tried to hurdle over him, and Baconton guy came up and upended him. It was a little bit of a gain on the play, but I'll tell you what, the way Baconton is playing defensively, you got to wonder if the punter had not been able to get that punt away, what would be? It's 7-0. We could still be looking at a 0-0 football game.
3rd and 6 now for the Hornets. Baconton defense has just been really impressive here. And Godwin takes a snap, going to give it to a back who's going to come to the near side. He's hit at the 20-yard line, takes it across the 20, and they're going to spot it for a first down for the Hornets.
10th grader Maurice Young, and he made great second effort and made a spin. And if he hadn't have made that little spin move and got another step, Clark, he'd have been dropped a yard short of the first down. As it is, he picks up a first for the Pelham Hornets.
Ball's on the 18-yard line now for the Hornets, 1st and 10. As the Hornets break the huddle, come up to the line of scrimmage. 9 minutes on the clock, second quarter. Got one receiver and 2 backs. One receiver on the near side. Going to give it to a back who's going to take it to the outside on the far side. Hornets going to gain about 3, maybe 4 yards there on that carry.
Denzel Jackson, a junior, and I remember him doing a great job of running last year, and he just kept his feet moving, kept moving, kept chopping, taking that Heisman-style look of the ball player that you see on the trophy, and coming around right in there and picking up some good yardage there on the first down run. Now they're looking at a 2nd and 6, Clark.
Hornets come up to the ball with the 2nd and 6 situation. Godwin underneath center this time. Again, one receiver on the far side and going to pitch it to a back, and we have penalty flags all over the field. And it is going to go against the Hornets. They're going to back them up to about the 19-yard line.
I'm sorry I went blank there. I noticed you paused for me to say something, but I had no idea what they were going to call, so I guess I could have made something up. But anyway, there is a timeout for us to regroup, as well as multitasking Clark doesn't need to regroup, but I definitely do, and they also need some water down there on the field because it's hot here in August. We'll take a 30-second timeout and be back on the official voice of high school football in Mitchell County, Q92.3.
Now for the Hornets, 2nd and long, 2nd and about 11. And what do we have going on now? We have another timeout on the field.
Pelham has taken it this time. I think that first timeout was an official timeout for water. Now Pelham has decided that they want to talk it over, and we'll take another 30-second timeout and be back on the official voice of high school football in Mitchell County, Q92.3.
All right, 2nd down and 11 now for the Hornets as they're knocking on the door. They have 7 points on the board. 8:02 left to play in the first half. Pelham has a man in motion this time to the near side and going to give it to the back, who's going to come to the near side. He's going to have running room to turn, and he does turn up the 15, and he is hit hard, and the ball comes out, and they do not rule it a fumble there. But man, oh man, describe that play. But there is a flag.
Yeah, I think they're going to say his knee was down before the ball came out, so he did not fumble it, and they've got the ball currently, Clark, down in the vicinity of the 7-yard line, but it's not going to stick because this is obviously a holding penalty back here, and so they will mark off the 10 yards from about the...
It's against the Hornets.
Yeah, it's against the Hornets, so they will mark it off from about the just outside the 15.
Well, Coach Palmer is down there. He is raising sand with the officials there. He was really voicing his opinion there. He's still trying to get their attention.
Well, they're going to mark the 10-yarder off from just outside, from what I would call the 15 and a half, and it's going to be, and it looks like they actually marked it from the 16 because they put it down on the 26. So it's a big break. Pelham is really racking up the penalties here in their first game, having execution problems.
All right, 2nd very long now for the Hornets as they come back to the line. Got one underneath center this time. Going to have a man in motion, and I think the Hornets were drawn off sides there with that flag.
I'm going to say that Baconton got somebody caught in the neutral zone. It's going to be offsides against them.
Yep. I mean, just
the defensive guy can move, but he stepped in there. He had his foot firmly planted right on the imaginary line beside the football when it was snapped, and they caught him.
Hornets will take any yards any way they can get them. They pick up 5 there as brings up about a 2nd and 13 situation now for the Hornets. And man in motion this time. They're going to give it to the man in motion as he takes it to the far side. He's got running room, and somebody grabs him and pulls him down on the 10-yard line.
Yeah, they're beginning to find some room around there on the edges, and that speed is coming out. Pelham's got some speed this year. Pelham is really going to try to harness that speed, and all of a sudden now they're starting to have some success running around the ends there, and they got back down to the 10-yard line. They are running a wing T formation, and sometimes they will come lined up in the double wing, but they're sending that man in motion and snapping it when he gets to the point on the field where he would normally line up in a wing T. Now they're in the wing T right now.
And on a 3rd and short situation, they hand off to a back who drives forward, and he's going to be near a first down there, Jerry.
And of course, you know, that's going to be a good formation for them when you send that wingman in motion and you just pitch it to him. He's already in full stride, and if they get that pitch right there on the numbers and get some good blocking around there on the edge, they'll have some success this season running that guy around, the motion man around and pitching to him.
All right, it's going to be. I think they're going to take an official timeout here to call for a measurement, and they're going to bring the chains out on the field. This thing's going to be really close. The ball is spotted around the 8, and they're bringing the chains out now.
We're gonna see Pelham next, our game of the week. The week following next, by
half a football,
when Pelham takes on Thomasville at the Hornets' Nest. Boy, they were real quick measuring that. I thought I was going to have to kill some time there. I was trying to do a promo, and they just stretched it out, measured it, and in retrospect, those guys should have been able just to look at it and find out. I guess they may have been trying to appease Baconton by bringing the chains out.
All right, first down now for the Hornets, first and goal. Ball is on the 8-yard line as the Hornets line up, knocking on the door here. Godwin for the Hornets underneath center. Going to give it to the back, who's going to come to the near side. He cuts up the middle, and he's hit by several of
they say
touchdown.
They say he's in. I thought, Brandon Smith Jr. for the Pelham Hornets carried for the touchdown. But I really thought his knee was down before he got across. But, of course, you know, I'm, how many feet away, and the officials are how many feet away, and they're looking right at it, and I'm at an angle here. Plus, admittedly, my eyes aren't worth a flip, and every football season that comes around, I'm beginning to learn that more and more. Ready for the kick.
The point after, it is up, and it is good. So your score in the second quarter with 6:05 left to play, it is the Pelham Hornets 14 and the Baconton Blazers 0. We'll take an official timeout on the official voice of high school football in Mitchell County, Q92.3. The scoreboard, second quarter, 14-0 is your score. Hornets in the lead as they are ready to kick the ball from their 40-yard line. And the kick is over to the near sideline where it's caught by in and out of the one Baconton Blazer, and then another runs over and falls on it, thank goodness. Baconton will take over with probably some of the best field position they've had tonight at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that is pretty good field position there, but they are not getting. That was going back to my commentary about that pass a while ago. They are not getting very much yardage after they get a hold of the football on a pass. Well, in passing has been non-existent. The only, I think, pass, and I'm not sure they've caught a pass actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But once they get the ball in the kick, they usually don't pick up any more yardage.
First and 10 as they give it to a back who's hit immediately in the backfield, and he is stuffed at the 30-yard line. Whistles blow. Forward progress there is going to have him still behind the line of scrimmage, back on about the 33-yard lines where the ball is going to be spotted for about a 2-yard, 3-yard loss there.
Barkari McDuffie, a junior, carrying the ball, but man, I tell you what, ball and then a host of Hornets hit him at the same time, and he's lucky he got that ball in his gut there to hang on to it, because he was hit about the same time he got the football. There is a timeout, there's a break, an official timeout, I believe, for them to take a swig of water. We'll take a 30-second timeout as well. Back in a moment on the official voice of high school football in Mitchell County, Q92.3.
Back in the, I guess, mid-80s there?
Okay. I'll let you have
You'll
it.
disagree, huh?
I won't.
Blazers roll to the near side
Jerry.
on second and long, and they catch the ball at the 7-yard line and number 7 catches the ball at the 40-yard line, getting up to the 41-yard line. A gain there of about 7 yards on a pass by the Blazers.
Good things about that. It's a completed pass for Baconton. was one that was fired upfield, which I would like to see. Clayton Davis, a 9th grader, was on the receiving end of that. I always like to see a 9th grader stepping up and doing something under the Friday night lights. So Penson to Davis picked up that yardage, and they picked up, what, about 7 yards on the play. So that was an excellent pass play there.
3rd and 3 now for the Blazers. Penson bringing them up to the line. I formation. Receivers on either side of the ball this time. The snap. Looking to pass this time. And it's a long pass. Deep pass. Down to the. It's incomplete, but down around the 30-yard line. Good coverage there by the Hornets.
My hat is off to them. They did not complete that pass, but now that was something they needed to do. That may loosen up the front there. If they had caught that, there's no doubt Pelham would have to respect that and start dropping back, and that would open up the run where they run best between the tackles out of that I formation backfield.
4th down now, 4th and 3 for the Blazers. Ball's on the 41.5, and here comes the ethanol train.
You talk about Jack Johnson. I think Jack Johnson at least would have picked up the first down, then on first down chunked it downfield for the touchdown.
I formation this time by the Blazers from 4th down. No, I'm sorry. It is a punt on 4th down, out of bounds at the 35-yard line. I'm watching the train and look back down and see what I think's an eye, and it's a punt.
Yeah.
Goodness, 4th and 3 on a punt there. It goes out of bounds. They spot it at the 40, so the Hornets will take over with good field position from their own 40-yard line.
Sometimes you see when those go out of bounds, the officials sort of have license at guessing where they think it went out of bounds when it goes out of bounds in the air. And I think Baconton come up with a pretty good punt there. Pelham starting on their own 40.
I'm just sitting here making an observation. We've got some lights out at the stadium here, and that's not going to be good.
No, we certainly do.
All right, Hornets 1st and 10, and looking to pass this time. It's a pass upfield. They've got a man open there, and it's in and out of his hands. Incomplete, totally in and out of his hands. Number 24 for the Hornets, Drummond Jenkins, drops the ball.
Brutally honest or nice? Brutally honest. Dale Dover would have said hit him in a bad place, the hands.
Okay. 4:12 left to play in the first half of tonight's contest. 14-0. Hornets in the lead here. 2nd and 10 now for the Hornets.
Coach Dover probably, if he ever hears that I'm quoting him on the radio, he probably says, I wish that boy had shut up if he even remembers me. I'm a disciple of his, but I was a 3rd-string bench warmer.
Hornets from 2nd and 10, give it straight up the middle. Give it to a back there who runs 10 yards with it. That's going to pick up a first down.
Yeah, that looked good. And I told you he looked good a while ago. I called his name wrong, Desmond Parker, but that's that young man that he did great, and he put that little spin at the end of it to get him a couple of extra yards there. But a true story. I was third string bench warmer. I couldn't even make first string as bench warmer.
1st and 10 now for the Hornets. Ball's on the 49-yard line.
I do like quoting Coach Dover, and one day somebody needs to tell him I did pay attention.
Cody Goblin pitching it to a man in motion who's got plenty of room on the far side. He crosses the 30-yard line and finally drug out of bounds up around the 25. Huge pickup there by the Hornets.
Well, I tell you what, if you want an old man to try to talk as close to like the kids would say as a kid, the Hornets right now seem like they got it going on.
Yeah, momentum is definitely in the Hornets' way with 3:33 left in the first half of tonight's contest. There's a timeout on the field. Baconton Blazers take a timeout. We'll also do the same thing with 3:33, 14-0. Second quarter here from Centennial Field. Taking the timeout on the official voice of high school football in Mitchell County, Q92.3.
I got to tell you, it looks like Pelham is a team that's taken a little bit longer to warm up than Coach Carroll would probably like for them to have done. And they had a lot of penalty problems in the early going, but it looks like they've gotten some of those things ironed out, and they're on a roll right now.
Hornets coming up to the ball, 1st and 10 now. They have a man in motion and going to give it to a back who's going to come back to the near side, and they've got a hand all over him from the line of scrimmage, but he crosses the 20 up to about the I don't know, maybe the, well, goodness gracious, the 16, 17-yard line is where they're going to spot it.
Yeah, Maurice Young carrying the ball there. And Clark, I'm going to try to best, being really a non-technical person on this, a coach could explain it better. But they had all the motion man and everything going to the right side, and then all of a sudden the guy that's going to get the handoff cuts back inside to the left. So they move all the motion to the right with a little bit of deception on that play, and the ball carrier brings the ball back on an inside handoff, cutting off, slanting off to the left side, and it worked out good for the Hornets.
2nd and 1 now for the Hornets. From the 17-yard line, going to give it to the back straight up the middle. He's got a first down, and he's going to run all the way up and finally be tugged down about the 5-yard line.
They kicked that defensive end out, and he looked like he was going to sweep around, and at last minute cut step back inside the Baconton defensive end that had basically been driven to the sideline there and created a big gaping hole, and there's that Hornet speed that we're seeing. It looks like it's really front and center here on the stage here on this drive. 1st and goal for the Hornets now from the 5-yard line as they are back up at the line. One receiver on the far side from that wing tee. Going to give it to the same guy just a moment ago, and he's going to take it in for a Hornet touchdown. Number 21 for the Pelham Hornets, Desmond Parker. Yeah, we've seen the future here of Hornet football for this season, and it's Desmond Parker carrying the ball. He has really looked good, even when they were struggling early. He wasn't picking up a whole lot of yardage there, Clark. But he just, I go back to that statement I said. He just looked, he picked up 2 yards, but he just looked good carrying the football. Now all of a sudden he's breaking loose, and he really, really is looking good.
Hornets ready for the point after, and the kick is up, and it is good. So your score from Centennial Stadium with 2:18 left to play in the first half of tonight's contest is 21-0. Hornets in the lead. We're going to take a 30-second timeout on the official voice for high school football in Mitchell County, Q92.3.
Technical stuff worked out as well.
Hornets ready for the kickoff now after putting another 7 points on the board. 21-0, 2:18 left to play in the first half of tonight's contest from Centennial Stadium in Camilla. Pelham Hornets versus the Baconton Blazers. Good kick back to about the 20-yard line where Baconton picks it up, and they don't get anywhere, maybe a yard or two after they pick it up to the 25-yard line. Be 1st and 10 for the Baconton Blazers from their own 25.
Blazer first down.
Blazers have kind of been in this situation several times tonight, deep in their own territory. They're going to be spotted actually on the 26-yard line, so 1st and 10 now from the 26 for the Blazers as they're getting the call from the sidelines. And the player number 55 brings the call in there for the Blazers. Giving it to the team, B.J. Klassen. And now the Blazers come up to the line of scrimmage. Receivers on both sides of the ball. Quarterback Pinson underneath center, I formation. And Pinson's hanging on to it, and he comes to the inside, gets it back up to the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play there. 2nd down and 10. 2nd and 10 for the Blazers on a Pinson quarterback keeper.
Yeah, those lights came back on, but it still looks kind of dark. I wonder if we got some lights out on this side. Or is it my eyes?
I'm just glad to see they're on.
Yeah.
1:30 with the clock running. The Blazers are still in a huddle out there, but they're looking back to the sidelines here. And now Pinson giving them the play. Break the huddle, come up to the line of scrimmage. Receivers this time, both sides of the ball. I formation again, Pinson underneath center. And penalty flags come out, and I bet you it's going to be delay of game. And it is a delay of game against the Blazers. That'll back them up 5 yards. Third down now, and third and about 15 yards. Third and 15, we're going to call it. Blazers back up to the line, 57 seconds with the clock running here. 21-0. Pelham in control of the contest. Still some confusion here on part of the officials. They're looking at the time, I think, and not going to pay any attention to it. Still letting the clock run. 47 seconds.
Yeah, they crank the clock and let it just run down some.
All right, Pinson underneath center, I formation, receivers both sides of the ball. Second and 15, and going to give it to the back, who's hit in the backfield, and he's driven back. Man, he's stuffed.
Yeah, I tell you what, a lot of times when your offense gets rolling, and it goes vice versa. You get a defense that makes a good play, and then all of a sudden the offense comes on the field. Of course, I understand at this level they go both ways, but still, it's a whole different kind of movement. And I think they say they're going to retire James Davis's jersey, so that lets you know what they thought of James Davis. You know, I told him he was going to be a hard guy to replace. You got a program that basically he played only 1 year of varsity football, and they're going to retire his number. That says a lot for that athlete, that is for sure. The first half comes. It sounds like it's doing better.
To the Hornets. Ball is teed up on the 40-yard line. Back deep to receive for the Pelham Hornets is Brandon Bostick, a senior. And kicking for the Blazers is going to be number 1, Darian Robinson. Officials getting things ready. Whistles blow, and we're about ready for the second half. 21-0 is your score from Centennial Stadium in Camilla. Kick is back. Going to be fielded on the 25-yard line by the Hornets. They're going to run this straight up the middle. Got running room. He's tripped up just over the 40-yard line, up to about the 43 is where it's going to be spotted. First and 10 for the Hornets.
And Clark, he took that mathematical, what they told us back in math class, the straightest way to go from point A to point B is a straight line. Something like that. Obviously, I didn't listen that well.
Hornets from the 43. They're on 43. First and 10 now as they come up to the line. Quarterback for the Hornets, Cody Godwin, directly underneath center. And he's looking to pass this time, under pressure, and the pass is incomplete. Had a man out there, but he was under a tremendous amount of pressure to throw that ball.
He had great presence in the pocket, as they say, as he stepped back, stepped up, and kept his eye on his receiver downfield. Just couldn't complete the pass, but did a great job of not being brought down in the backfield with a sack.
Second and 10 now for the Hornets. This time they're going to send a receiver to the far side. Godwin underneath center. The count, the snap, going to give it to a back who's going to run around the far side, cut back up, and going to gain about 2 yards before he's taken down by the Blazers.
Well, I tell you what, halftime break has done a great job here for the Baconton Blazer defense, because they are back looking in the form they were at the beginning of the football game, Clark, where the Pelham Hornets look like they're having a hard time moving the football against them. It may be just a case of conditioning. As the half wears on, Pelham may be able to run the football again, or Baconton may have discovered something.
3rd and 8 for the Hornets. Straight up the middle this time. They've got running room. They break through. Guy's still on his feet. Number 35 still on his feet as he runs down across the 30 and going to be taken down at about the 21-yard line.
just as I brag on him, it looks like the Pelham Hornets have broken a long run and are now deep in Baconton territory.
Denzel Jackson there on a huge ball mover and carry. Be 1st and 10 now for the Hornets from the, you're going to call it the 21-yard line of the Blazers.
Jackson is putting up some good numbers tonight for the Pelham Hornets.
1st and 10 with the count. And the quarterback's going to hang on to it. They get a hand on him. He breaks free. He cuts up the middle. Quarterback keeper there, and he's going to move the ball forward.
Pro West credited, you probably heard in the background with the tackle.
Moves the ball up to the 15-yard line, so that's a gain there of about 5 yards, maybe even 6. We're going to call it 2nd and 4 from where we see.
You know, Pelham looks like they have got their rhythm back pretty early here in this second half, sort of like we expected. There was a couple of good stops by Baconton, but now Pelham looks like out of that wing T formation.
Hornets quarterback gives it to a back who turns it around the outside and doesn't get very far there.
58 and 3. Tackle by number 58.
No, it's still going to be short. 3rd and about 2 now, and we've got 2 Baconton players slow to get up here. Now 1 slow to get up. Now they're both up. Okay, good deal.
Well, I think the combination of players, well, I don't know. I was fixing to say Pelham is kneeling down, but nobody has brought water on, and the coaches are running back off the field, so we thought there was going to be a timeout there, but apparently there is not a timeout, so we'll hold it right here.
All right, 3rd and short now for the Hornets, knocking at the door once again. Here in the beginning of the 3rd quarter, 9:25 with the clock running. 21-0 is your score. Hornets 3rd and short here. Going to give it to the back, straight up the middle. He's got running room all the way in. Touchdown for the Hornets. And a carry by number 35, Denzel Jackson.
Hold it. There is a flag on the play. I barely saw it.
Going to see.
To where I see it.
Here we go with the call.
Probably saw it over there, but yeah. Personal foul.
Touchdown stands. Personal foul.
Yeah, personal foul usually comes after the play. That's usually a late flag, and that may have been why we didn't see it. Wherever it was thrown, it came in late, and a personal foul called against the Pelham Hornets, and then either assess it on the extra point or on the kickoff.
All right, getting ready for the point after attempt here. They have hit all 3 tonight. The very first one was barely through the uprights, but the other 2 after that was absolutely good. This time they're getting ready to punt again to put another point on the board. And the kick is up. It hits the upright. No good. So only 6 points. Your score at 9:11 left to play in the 3rd quarter from Centennial Stadium. It's Pelham Hornets 27, Baconton Blazers 0. We'll take this 30-second timeout on the official voice for high school football in Mitchell County, Q 92.3.
Jackson, number 3 on the return. Number 5, Elijah Hayward, and 26, Stephen Horn.
Back in Centennial Stadium, they have just had the kickoff, and after the kick, after the touchdown, and of course Pelham tried to ugly that through the uprights. The extra point was no good, and of course now Pelham has kicked off, and I forgot to look whether they have whether they marked it off on the kickoff, the penalty.
Jerry, there after kick there. Great catch, and one heck of a attempt at a return there by Hiram Jackson. Gets the ball up to the 49-yard line, so Baconton Blazers going to take over first and 10. Best field position they've had all night.
Yeah, it really is the best field position that they've had all night. There's no doubt about that. So it's going to be interesting to see if Baconton can try to get things in gear here and move the football.
All right, first and 10 now for the Blazers from their own 49-yard line. Quarterback with the snap. Going to give it to a back, number 21, who's going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, and no gain there, maybe even a loss of a yard.
Yeah, it was a power I formation that they've moved to. They've been moving pretty much tonight in a pretty standard I formation, Clark, but it looks like they're trying a power I formation this particular series of downs.
Second and 10 now for the Blazers as they leave the huddle, come up to the line. One receiver on the near side. Again, that power I formation. They count the snap. Give it to a back. The ball is loose. Pelham falls all over the top of it on their own 49-yard line. Pelham's football.
Will take over with the football on the 50-yard line. Well, I tell you what, you're right there in the middle of the field. Of course, Baconton is still showing sometimes a little glimpses of some good things happen defensively. So we'll see if they can stop Pelham from scoring on this drive.
First and 10 now for the Hornets. On a turnover there, Blazer turnover. Pelham this time, two receivers to the near side. Gonna fake it to the back, quarterback hangs onto it, rolls to this side, turns and goes straight up the field, and they drag him down by the neck there at the 41-yard line. A gain of about 6 yards there. Actually going to give it a little more than that, a gain of about 9 yards there. Going to be second and 1 based on that spot up to the 41-yard line. And now the Hornets in a real quick situation back up to the line of scrimmage there. Two receivers now on the other side of the field. One lone back in the backfield. Going to give it to the back. He's on his feet. He turns. He cuts up the field. He's got running room, and they drag him down. The Blazers get him down at about the 31-yard line. That'll move the chains for a first down.
Yeah, it looks like that Pelham running game is getting back on track like they were the latter part of the first half.
Who do I tell? They said cut the microphone off.
Cut the mic off of it?
The loudspeaker.
All right, first and 10 for the Hornets as they come up to the line from the, actually it's on about the 30-yard line this time. One receiver on the far side for the Hornets, going to give it to a back, comes to the near side, cuts straight upfield, and is taken down at about the 23-yard line.
Neville Thompson, we're having to share one Pelham roster here. Neville Thompson carrying the football, and again, he took that, what I described earlier, the shortest way between point A and point B, a straight line. He did that on that particular one. Good job running there.
All right, Pelham now, second and about 3. And quarterback's going to hang on to it. He turns upfield and going to be up near a first down. Gets it up to about the 29-yard line.
We know the problem. How about give us an answer?
69, Richard Watson.
I'm sorry. I've been working on it all night. We know the problem. I just need an answer.
1st and 10 now for the Hornets. That does move the chains. Get the ball.
The answer: install phone lines and get rid of these cell phones.
that AT&T guy, yeah, he'd agree with that.
He's got it going on.
1st and 10 now for the Hornets. And they give it to a back who's going to take it over, just kind of a little inside handoff there, and he's going to move it forward about 6 yards, looks like.
Stop by number 22, Zach Jones.
Actually going to give him 7 yards there. I get second about 3.
The Baconton PA announcer gets real excited on a stop here, but he forgets that they picked up, about 7 yards prior to the stop.
4:53 with the clock running, 3rd quarter, 27-0 your score. Hornets in the lead. This time, going to give it to a back who's going to come to the near side with a run, turn up the middle. He's still on his feet. He's going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown.
And again, Neville Thompson, he's a 10th grader, believe it or not, for the Pelham Hornets, and he was dragging Blazers along that had latched onto his ankle and just kind of hopped his way into the end zone. Very good run there by Thompson.
Pelham gets to set up again for a point after. With 4:36, the count and the snap. The kick is blocked this time by the Blazers, so it's no good. That's 2 in a row they've missed. Your score is now 33-0. We'll take a timeout with 4:36 left to play in the 3rd quarter on the official voice for high school football in Mitchell County. A 30-second timeout on Q92.3. Number 25, Aviles is what I'm calling him. With a good kick there. Baconton picks it up at the 25-yard line where it is. Picks it up. He's hit, gets it up to the 30-yard line. So Baconton will take over 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Blazers. 3rd quarter of action here at Centennial Stadium. 33-0. Blazers huddle up now. And we apparently have a timeout of some sort, official timeout for water. We'll also take a timeout, 30-second timeout on the official voice for high school football in Mitchell County, Q92.3. For the Blazers have looked really good tonight. All right, offense is ready. 1st and 10 now. And we have penalty flags. Actually, we had a whistle blow right before the snap, or as the ball was being snapped. I do not see. We do have a penalty flag. False start against the Blazers. That'll back us up 5 yards there. And we'll replay the down. First and 15 now for the Blazers. Blazers now come out of the huddle, back up to the line. Brock Pinson, number 10, quarterback for the Blazers. Underneath center, 2 receivers on the near side. Going to give it to a back who's going to go straight up the middle. Gets it across the 25 up to about the 26.5 or so. Still behind the original line of scrimmage. Going to call it 2nd and 4 or so. .403 clock running, 33-0 is our score. Hornets in the lead. Pinson brings the Blazers back to the line. Underneath center, power I formation this time. 1 receiver on the near side. Pinson rolls to the far side. He's under pressure, throws, and it is incomplete. Just trying to get rid of it there, it looks like. Trying to throw when they, same time they were hitting him. Third down, third and still long for the Blazers. Blazers come back to the line now. All right, power I formation this time. One receiver to the near side. And a handoff to number 3. Comes around the near side, and he is collared around the neck, and a penalty flag comes out. He's still short of the original first down, which is up at the 30. They drag him down there at the 26-yard line, but there is a penalty flag. Face mask against the Hornets and a personal foul. So personal foul, face mask. We'll see what happens here.
15-yard variety for Blazer. First down.
All right, they're marking it off from the 26-yard line. So that'll move the chains for a first down. Ball is now on the 41. The Blazers on 41-yard line. Blazers get their first down of the night on this. All right, I formation this time. Receivers on both sides of the ball. The count, the snap. Going to pitch it to a back who is hit immediately as soon as he catches that pitch. Goodness gracious. Loss of about 2 yards, it looks like. Back to the 38-yard line. And if that's so, it's a loss of 3. Be second down now and 13 for the Blazers. Blazers still in the huddle. Now they break free. Second and long, 13 yards to go for a first down from their own 38-yard line. I formation this time. Receivers on both sides. Going to give it to back. He's not going to get anywhere. It's a solid line there. Third down and 13 for Baconton. 2 minutes left to play in the third quarter. 33-0 your score in Camilla. Hornets with the lead. I was about to say they're being really nice. Not blowing a lot of the horn there. 1:32 clock running. I formation this time for the Blazers. Receivers on both sides. And faking it to the back. Quarterback's under pressure. Pinson's rolling. He throws it. He's got a man there, and it is incomplete. He had a lot of pressure on him that time. Intended for number 24, Quentin Smith for the Blazers, but Pinson was under a whole lot of pressure there as he was rolling outside to the far side, just having to get rid of it. Blazers having to kick the ball. Going to be punting from the about the 25-yard line. Ball's up on about the 36. Fourth and long for the Blazers. Pelham with one man back at about the 35-yard line to receive. The count, snap, and a beautiful kick to the man on the 35. 13 takes it. He takes it to the far side. He runs straight out of bounds on the far side, and I see a penalty flag is thrown over where they ran him out of bounds. See what the flag is. That number 13 there for the Hornets, Brandon Bostic, he took off running like lightning, but he ran straight down the chalk mark there all the way to the sidelines where the flag came out at. So we'll see what the referee is going to say here on this.
I'm sorry.
And it is against the Hornets.
I'm sorry I kind of left it with you, but I think one of the problems is, you know, we've been switching mics here. I think I've discovered that we got a bad mic cord.
We had that last year. I forgot about that.
I thought we tied that in a knot and I got rid of it, but I may have gotten that one, or they do go bad, but that wasn't all the problem. I think we're having a little cell phone issue too. I apologize, and I apologize for getting a little snippy with some people, but we've been working on it since the get-go.
All right, let's get this thing set up here after that call was against Pelham. Didn't see what the call was, but now the ball is spotted on the 33-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Hornets from their own 33. All right, timeout is called on the field. 1:05 left to play in the third quarter. Timeout on the field. We'll also take a timeout. 30-second timeout. The official voice for high school football of Mitchell County, Q92.3.
Phone, see if that's part of the problem.
1st and 10 for the Hornets now from the 33. And there is a big mix-up on the Hornet offense. Baconton breaks through the line there, takes them down for a huge loss. Actually back to the 20-yard line, so they're going to lose about 2.5, 3 yards there. So we're going to call it 2 yards. 2nd and 12 now.
Clark, if I could make my point real quick, Pelham was ready to go and on the line during that water break while Baconton was still over here trying to get more water in them. That may be an indication.
2nd and 12 for the Hornets as they come back up to the line. One receiver on the near side. Penalty flags fly. Somebody move somewhere. And it's going to be movement against Pelham. That's going to back them up 5 yards. So the ball is spotted on the 15-yard line now. So 2nd and about 17. Again, this Blazer defense is doing a good job tonight. And that's the end of the third quarter. Your score 33-0. We're going into the fourth quarter. When we come back, you're listening to Q92.3, the official voice for high school football in Mitchell County. Going to take a 30-second timeout. Coming back to Centennial Field on Q92.3.
Right now, they are really, really not wanting, they're deep in Pelham territory. They're not wanting this opportunity to pass them by without getting something on the board.
High formation for the Blazers, 1st and 15. Pinson rolls to the near side. He's looking to pass it. He's got running room as he crosses the 15-yard line. They collared him down, and out come the yellow flags. That's going to be against the Hornets.
Yeah, it is. It's the horse collar tackle. Grabbed him by the collar and brought him down. And so that's going to add some more yards to it and set him up with another first down. And this time it's probably going to be first down close to the 5-yard line.
And that will be counted from the spot of infraction there. So that's going to put it on about the 5-yard line, just over the 5. Be 1st and goal for the Blazers. .6:43 on the clock, 33-0. Blazers knocking at the door, trying to get some points on the board here.
It looks like it's actually closer to 6 to me, but I thought I did pretty good figuring it out in my head.
It's just over the 5. I formation.
for the Blazers. And they fake it to a back. Pinson hangs on to it. Now he passes it, and it is caught. It is caught. But
now I think they're saying incomplete.
Okay.
Now in our defense, none of those officials actually signaled it.
Absolutely.
They were just kind of looking at it with the thumb in their nose.
All right. Second goal now.
You need to signal that it's incomplete. We're looking here. Never saw the ball come loose, but we could tell actually after a while by the reaction on the field that it was clearly an incomplete pass. Home crowd getting on their feet, cheering their team on, because right now this is their victory. Put some points on the board.
From the I formation, Pinson gives it to number 3, who's got running room around the far side. He's going to take it in for a touchdown, and there are penalty flags after he got in the goal. Touchdown.
Yeah, the Pelham guy pushed him out of bounds clearly after he was in the end zone, so there'll be a personal foul penalty tacked onto that. So not only does he get the yardage into the end zone, after they mark off the penalty, he'll be over in that baseball field. Clearly not. But they will mark a penalty off somewhere, or either it was after the touchdown, so I'm sure it's got to be marked off somewhere. Personal foul
Against the defense.
against the Pelham Hornets.
All right, get ready for the point after attempt here. 6 points on the board for the Blazers. Back to kick for the Blazers, number 17, Jacob Pollock.
Jacob's a 10th grader, and he's had a good game
and
tonight.
Now there's penalty flags flying.
I see what that is. I really didn't see any movement, so I don't know what this is unless someone's lined up offsides.
It came in from the judge on the far side over there. Let's see.
Offsides.
Offsides
okay.
against the Hornets.
They were just the Hornets were just lined up offsides. So they'll move it. Yeah, this is where you get cheated when you pick up that penalty. It's down about on the 2-yard line, so it moves to the 1. Sometimes teams go for 2, but I think Baconton's going to be happy with
Blazers
a point after.
With the kick, it's up, and it is good.
Jacob Pollock, the happiest person, comes running off the field. I expected him to do one of those soccer slides. If you've ever seen the soccer players just do a belly flop on the field and slide after they've scored a goal. I've seen that on some highlight things, and I expected him to come over and do that.
That's good. Glad to see the Blazers get on the.
Because we're pulling for both teams. I mean, in all honesty, you and I walked the high school, the halls of Pelham High School. I mean, I think most people that know us know that. And when it comes to anything else, we're definitely pulling for the Hornets to win. But we've got a soft spot in our heart for the Baconton and what our friend Glenn Palmer is trying to do. And, in fact, Glenn walked the halls of Pelham High School, too. So he'll admit that, he was a Hornet.
Yeah, great to see them get some points on the board here tonight. I can tell you, I'm really proud of the Baconton defense here. They've done a good job here tonight. This is a growing program. I know we said that last year and said it, but it truly is. Look for some great things here in the future. 5:17 on the clock, fourth quarter. 33-7 is your score from Centennial Stadium in Camilla, where it's a home game for the Blazers.
And the last time there was a penalty on the touchdown, I didn't pay attention because I was kind of neck deep in some technical issues that I hope we've kind of got at least going in our way. But they did mark it off on the kickoff. Baconton is kicking off from the midfield stripe.
Actually from the 45 of
Actually
Pelham.
from the 45. I'm sorry, they were lined up on midfield.
Absolutely. Pelham catches the kick on their own 30-yard line, and they'll take over 1st and 10 with 5:14 left to play in tonight's contest.
So I was trying to get that straightened out and ended up misleading them. They were lined up on the 50. Obviously, they do run up and approach the football, so they needed 5 more yards to do that. So that penalty is something that Pelham is going to have to work on, penalties, if they want to make a run for the playoffs, because you end up having your opponent kick off to you after scoring from the your 45. That could be deadly in a close game.
All right, Hornets up to the ball now. 1st and 10, going to give it to a back who's going to come to the near side, cut back across the middle, and gain of about 5 or 6 yards there.
Well, this is really, I think we're going to see Coach Carroll come back and say, you know, you've got this game in hand. But he's made it clear he likes to play